Welcome back, and we're going to start into the mental piece of our spring cleanse. So what's going on upstairs in our minds?
So much.
So much, right? So many thoughts going through, and we don't even know, most of the time we don't even know what we're thinking. So we're going to begin with a meditation to take a look at what's actually living inside there and see if we can ascertain some of the things that we are thinking and how they might be affecting us in our daily lives.
Yes.
So this exercise actually is working with the third eye, and your third eye is located right here between your eyebrows. And often when we see it pictured, we see the light shining out of our third eye. And for this exercise, we're going to practice with it shining in. We're going to visualize a flashlight checking out what's going on inside of our mental bodies. And while we are doing that, Fred is going to send Reiki. And it doesn't matter that we're recording this now and that you're looking at this maybe 6 months down the road. Reiki's magic like that. It's going to travel through time and space. And honestly, you're going to get some Reiki healing while we're doing this meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that you might wonder why we're doing that. And this is very, very simple reason. It's because sometimes when you look at yourselves, it's a bit scary. You don't really want to look at it. So the Reiki just hold and just cover you a little bit so that you can look at it without maybe react or be too scared, but in a more relaxed state.
Right. Okay. So once again, we're going to get ourselves comfortable, feet flat on the floor, or you could be seated cross-legged, whatever is most comfortable for you. And to begin, we're really just going to connect with the bottom half of our body. So just taking a nice breath in, and with the exhale, feeling your sit bones on the surface below, and really just allowing yourself to sink in there. Knowing that whatever comes up during this time is simply so we can make our physical lives a little bit easier here in this time and in this place. So take a nice breath in to the count of 5, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now just allowing your awareness to rise up towards your third eye, that space between your eyebrows. Taking a breath into that space and maybe visualizing it beginning to clear as you breathe in and widen as you breathe out. Now we're going to imagine a flashlight pointing backwards into your skull from your third eye. And we're going to allow the light from that flashlight to do a bit of an investigation. And anything that comes up during this investigation, we're just going to notice it, just as though it were leaves on a river floating by in front of us. We notice it, we let it go, and we move on. So just turning on that flashlight. With the next exhale, allowing it to move over to the left, just above your left eyebrow, noticing what's there. And along the left side of your skull, around the back, the right side, and then just above your right eyebrow. And meeting once again just at your third eye and allowing your awareness to drop down just behind your nose, allowing the light to shine there. Just noticing, moving it along the midline of the left side of your skull. Around the back. Around the right side. Just below your right eye. And it meets again just behind your nose. And allowing that light to drop down just behind your chin. And we're going to shine it to the left all the way around your jaw. Past your left ear. Along the base of your skull. And the right side of your jaw. The right side of your chin, and it meets again. Now just noticing that the entire inside of your cranium is lit up with that beautiful, loving light of the flashlight. And just noticing anything that's coming up to be looked at, and just allowing it to come up, whatever it might be. No judgment. Any memories or ideas. Now just deepening your breath and starting to bring your awareness back to this time and place. And you might want to pause the video here for a moment just to take a couple of notes. And if not, we're going to move right into limiting beliefs, because limiting beliefs are probably, almost certainly, at the root of what some of the ideas that came up for you during that visualization were. So as an example, one of the limiting beliefs, I've got a few of them, that I really struggle with is that I am wrong. So I believe that no matter what happens in life, it's probably going to be my fault. And so actually, Fred and I, in the last video section, we had something go wrong. And it was neither her fault nor my fault, but the depth of me believed that I had done something, that I was wrong, and somehow I had screwed up this whole video thing, which then made me contract and made it a little less likely that it was going to go well. So that is how limiting beliefs affect us. And we've got a huge list of them in the manual for you to take a look at. Probably all of them affect you at some point or another, and certainly there's going to be a couple that really, really affect you, particularly in life, and you'd be surprised at how often they affect you. Fred?
Yes. I like the example that you just say, because I had the same one. So I was like, oh no, what did I do? And I'm wrong. And I'm like, yeah. And so you know what, when you have that, you have a tendency to not communicate, because it touched something so deep in you where you feel maybe ashamed, or like it's something very personal, that you have that conversation with yourself so much, like internally, without sometimes noticing it, that sharing with other people feels very vulnerable. And actually, like, even with your close friend, I will not share that with unknown or groups, like, but with a very good friend, feels like you're vulnerable and you have tendency to do the opposite. You just whoops, and like Karen say, whoops. It tends to be tiny. So witnessing is a great way to notice the pattern first, because it's a pattern. It comes back. And another thing is, like, witnessing is easier when you have a friend next to you who saw it. Give you another example where Karen, she just came to me and said, like, oh, I think this person is mad at me. And I'm like, oh, why? And it was like, I didn't I didn't communicate enough, and I think I did silence. I was like, I didn't answer email, and I'm like, is it really true? And so I begin to ask questions to her. Is it really true? Is it a fact or is it a feeling? Did she really show that she was mad at you? And like basically, she called the girl, and the girl, that was another example of limiting belief. She was like not communicating either because she thought that she didn't do enough for Karen. And you can see that both of them, and I was like the third just looking at it, so for me it was very easy to look at it, but both of them were in their limiting belief, didn't want to communicate. And so because maybe it's a new relationship, so you learn how to explain. It's not that easy to be in a place of vulnerability. And so basically their limiting belief trigger each other. And the key for that was like authenticity, and just say like, I am so sorry, I didn't do that, I didn't communicate with you. And the other person was like, oh no, it's me, I'm so sorry, I didn't do enough. And you see, like, I'm wrong, I'm not enough. They meet and it just dissolve with communication. And that's the power of like community and talking, where it's a safe place and authentic. So we all have examples like that. I have a lot of examples for myself where I feel something, but is it really based on facts? So you have a list of limiting beliefs, and like choose one that resonates with you. For example, I'm a burden. And in the situation, ask yourself, is it really, really, really true? What are the facts that show me that way? Isn't it the story that I made about myself that make me say I am a burden? Or maybe it's someone who told you that, who make you feel like that, and you repeat that because that's the way that you know. So just take your journal, and you have a section for that, and write about it.
And also, just a little quick note about vulnerability. Even with yourself, only go as deeply as you feel comfortable.
Oh yeah.
If you feel like, oh gosh, I'm really feeling like this is too much for me, just go to the edge of that. Because pushing through vulnerability or trauma probably isn't always the best idea. It can sometimes backfire. So just go as deeply as you feel comfortable this time. And then the next time you do this exercise, maybe you can go a little bit deeper.
Exactly. And don't do that exercise all the time, because you don't have to improve yourself all the time either. No. So you have time. The thing where you think there's an emergency to fix everything in the same time, yeah, don't follow that path. Just like go easy with the flow, and really, like Karen say, listen when it say like it contract your body and like maybe it's not the right time. Well, just like go what you can and do the exercise a tiny bit, but love, lots of love for yourself.
Absolutely. And then when you come back, we're going to do a limbic brain energy healing.
Yes.
All right. So the limbic brain energy healing. Basically, the limbic brain is our emotional brain. It's where we respond emotionally, and it's a trigger usually that we're used to something happening in life, and our emotional response is habitual. And often that habitual response is based on our limiting beliefs. And our limiting beliefs reside often in our reptilian brain, which is actually at the back part of our brain. And the reason they're there is to keep us safe. The same reason our reptilian brain is there. So, if I'm in danger, a limiting belief actually makes me small, which protects me. The thing is that we're not reptiles anymore or animals, and we're generally speaking not in so much physical danger. And getting smaller isn't usually the solution. So what we want to do is bring some of that energy that's living back here into the newer part of our brain that's at the front, where we can look at it rationally and go, just like Fred was saying, is that really true? Is that really true? And start looking at it with a more rational mind, I guess. So what we're going to do is Fred's going to send Reiki again.
Yes.
We're going to take a nice breath in and settle into our bodies. And you're going to cup one of your hands. I usually use the right hand. And we're going to bring it along the back side of our skull. We're just going to breathe energy into that area. We're going to allow the warmth of our hand to really permeate our brain. And just feeling that ridge back there beginning to soften. Taking a breath in, and with that exhale, allowing light to move through our hands into our brain. Breath in and out. And when you're ready, you're going to bring the other hand to the front of your head. And you're just going to do the same thing. Breath in, breath out. And allow light to move out of that hand as well. I'm just going to continue this for a few moments. And then we're going to deepen our breath. We're going to release any effort. We're going to give thanks to ourselves and to the practice. And if you have any notes you'd like to take, there's a space for that in your manual. And then in a moment we'll be back with the emotional piece.
Yes.
Thank you.